All right, so the powerlifting GOAT discussion between John Haack and Ed Coan. John Haack, he's been powerlifting for more than 10 years now. He started out in tested powerlifting, dominated tested powerlifting, had a world record squat and world record total in the 83 weight class, and he was a strong bencher, strong deadlifter, even deadlifted conventional for bonus points, squatted high bar, did minimal arch, close grip bench, and he's undersized for a guy that weighs as much as he is, and he lifts this freakish weight of somebody weight classes above him. But then he got untested, broke the world record in the untested weight class almost immediately, if not immediately, in the 83 class, and then broke the 90 kilogram weight class record. I think he held the deadlift and the bench press record, and I think maybe the squat. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on the squat. And then he moved up to 220-pound weight class, and I believe he totaled 2,300, and even broke the deadlift weight world record in that weight class. And now he was considered in the conversation of the GOAT, the same conversation as Ed Coan. He was our generation Ed Coan, as in somebody who's just dominant, pound for pound strong, no competition in his weight class, someone that's going to keep progressing, do freakish things, which John Haack has done, both in tested and untested. And John Haack, he seems to be slowing down a bit, because maybe he's just chemically slowing down, and even with the chemicals, PEDs, you do hit a limit, and he's been at this for a long time, so you don't continue to get stronger. But who knows, maybe he's still going to get stronger, but he hasn't, and I think injuries too, but he's hitting a limit. And the reason why he's not in the, I personally don't think he's in the GOAT. He's still in the conversation as one of the best powerlifters of all time, especially pound for pound in absolute strength, but not the same conversation as Ed Coan, because Ed Coan, almost nobody actually is in the same conversation as Ed Coan, because Ed Coan, he's been breaking world records and dominating powerlifting for more or less 2 decades. Now, I don't think another powerlifter since Ed Coan has dominated the top of powerlifting in 2 decades. Some could argue that Ed Coan didn't have that much competition at the time, but there were still strong powerlifters then. But the fact that it's more over a decade and probably even more than 2 decades of dominance of Ed Coan, breaking world records, getting better, being a freak at all 3 lifts, and that shows that Ed Coan being the GOAT, Ed Coan is still considered the GOAT. And unless someone does more than 20 years, maybe 25, 30 years, or however long it takes, maybe even 40 years, 30 years minimum, then of being on top, which with the human body, you kind of start growing it through your puberty years, and then there's a limit to the human body getting stronger, meaning that eventually the wear and tear happens from all that heavy weight, and testosterone levels start going down, which decreases muscle mass and just strength potential with testosterone going down, because old age just starts creeping in. So I don't know if we'll get another Ed Coan. And Ed Coan is still considered the GOAT because of his decades of dominance. No one dominated as long as he has. He was on the top. And he's still strong to this day. You could argue that Ed Coan was single ply, but in those days, single ply was the main competition. Single ply and multiply were the main competition in Ed Coan's days. There were barely, if not any, raw competitions. Raw started being a thing late 2000s, with the Lily Bridges and Stan Efferding. But otherwise, back then, everyone competed equipped or single ply. And Ed Coan still, and they did raw in training. And Ed Coan still had some crazy raw numbers. Like, he's been rumored to just like nothing squat over 800 and just a belt, no knee sleeves, maybe for a double or so. In training, he did 573 bench in training on camera. His deadlift is still strong, obviously. Like, he did over 900 in competition, still did 887 conventional to prove people wrong about sumo. And he even did behind the neck seated military press with over 400 pounds, weighing 220, almost double body weight. So yeah, he's a freak, man. So the other one also in the conversation that probably like the current John Haack. No one forgot about John Haack and all, but powerlifting people forget who was good yesterday and focus on now and the future. Someone taking John Hack's place is now Colton Engelbrecht. He has the highest. He has a 10 times body weight total. He weighed 264. He totaled 2,640, or probably more than that in reps. And he's about to break the all-time sleeve record held by Jesus Oliveras, who weighs over 400 pounds. But Jesus was tested. But Colton is like 150 pounds lighter than Jesus, and he's gonna break the record, and he's probably gonna break the 275-pound squat record held by Phil Herndon, and also break the deadlift world record, being the first powerlifter to deadlift 500 kilograms in a competition, and it will be a full competition. And the deadlift world record was held by what's his name, Dan Grigsby. So that's just my thoughts on it. Any more questions, drop down below. And Tyler, good questions, man. I love you, bro. Hopefully I see you soon. And just any more questions, I'll make more videos. Peace out, bud.